Awesome. I think we're live on Instagram. Let me see if Facebook is working. Beautiful starting. Awesome. I'm going to give it a few minutes for it to warm up. See who we can get joining us. Beautiful. Facebook, you're live as well. Cool. Beautiful. Welcome. If you're not joined just yet, I'll wait for you guys to start hopping on. Today's a short training. It's a 15-minute roughly training, and I think some of you guys are aware as well. I put it on my Instagram. So it's a 3-part training. So it's going to be 3 days regarding all about the pleaser mentality and what's preventing you from being an ineffective leader in your life. Let me just check views. Okay, beautiful. Awesome. So I've got a few points for us today, and I just want to speak about how many of us have become pleasers. Many of us have become people that are scared to be our true selves and scared to be actual leaders in our own life when it comes to who you are and it comes to just your general life. When we talk about leadership, when we talk about being leaders, a lot of us will think about maybe Leonidas from 300 or William Wallace from Braveheart, but it's actually being a leader is in all aspects of your life, and this starts in your household. For example, if you're married, does your wife see you as a leader? Does she follow you? Or does she respect you? Does she respect your decisions going forward? Does she follow you? Does she have the same values that you have and follows what you decide to do? Or even when you have children, do they respect you? Do they see you as someone with authority? Do they see you as someone who can actually tell them what to do and they will follow and they will listen? Or even your own life, are you someone who maybe eats junk food, or do you choose the right things for your life? Do you put the right things in your body when it comes to diet? Or even your career, what choices do you make? Are you living a career? Are you doing a career that you actually enjoy? You actually are a leader in something you actually indulge in and love? Or are you kind of a person who's doing a job that you don't really like, and you're kind of unsatisfied with life, and you're not really happy with the choices you're making? Is that the person you are? If that's you, then this training is for you. It's something that I see many men, especially with their spare time. What do you do when you're free? Do you do productive things that increases your understanding of life, increases your understanding of being a leader or being a better person? Or do you spend time playing video games all the time, or watching TV, or just eating junk food? What are the choices you make that makes you a leader over moving towards that pleaser simp mentality? Okay, and I can go into my own testimony. I remember there was a time when I was very, let's say, I was very soft, or I had an idea of what a real man should be. But for whatever reason, whenever I put myself in social settings or social situations, I would pull back because I was nervous, or I was fearful of standing out. I was scared of being that person who was in a position where people saw me standing out and then I made a mistake, or I did something embarrassing, or I did something stupid, or I did something that wasn't attractive to people, and I decided to step back in these roles, in these positions, and I didn't want to put myself out there, and it held me back in so many aspects, in my career, in relationships. I had no confidence to even speak to someone and develop a relationship, and that was across the board. And it got to a point where I need to change this. I need to make a decision to change. I need to make a decision to put myself in a new role and really be someone who's confident, take charge, and be a leader in my life. And that's when I made the decision to change it, and it really made a difference. Like, it moved me to a place where I was confident putting myself in positions I never put myself in before. I was confident building my strength and physicality in the gym and things like that. I also went for careers that I went for. And even now, doing this live, normally I wouldn't be comfortable on a screen with a camera in my face, but thankfully those choices I've made have changed my mindset and put me in a position where I'm much happier, in a position where I'm much confident, and I do what I believe is right for me. I don't do what I'm trying to please others, or do things that are trying to make other people happy for me. Rather, I'm doing what I feel is right through God and through myself, and it's doing pretty well for me at this moment in time. And so just to get into it then, so point number one, just to get it straight through, point number one, you're caught in the web. So point number one, you're caught in the web. And this reminds me of one of my clients as well. He's a great guy. He's a lot going for him. He's got marriage going for him. He's got career going for him. He's got all these aspects that are going really, really well. But he's actually in a stage now where he's completely stuck. He's in this place where I call decision-making paralysis, where he's completely holding himself back from being a leader and making clear decisions because of certain situations, because of the people around him, because of some things that happened before that maybe led people to not really respect him the way they respected him before, the choices he made. And because of that, he's now stuck. He's now holding himself back, and he's scared to move forward. He's scared to make just simple decisions. Like, he knows what he needs to do. He knows what he has to do, but because of this fear in him to please these people, please the family around him, he's now holding himself back and hesitating. And I've told him and explained to him so many times that if he continues to hesitate, life will still move on. Things will still move forward, and he'll be left behind. So he needs to become someone who's actually a decision maker now. Even though he may make mistakes, he may not make the right decisions, he has to make a decision in order for it to go forward and him to actually be a leader and expect things to maybe go wrong. But at the end of the day, you'll find a way through. But he can't be someone who's stagnant and holding back. If you're that person, maybe you realize this is something that you do, but you didn't realize that it's maybe subconscious, but you're actually stagnant. You're holding yourself back because you're trying to please others. You're trying to really consider what other people think about you before you actually make a decision to move forward. Okay, so maybe that's something for you. So if that makes sense, if that's relatable to you, that single point, then give me a 1 in the comment section. I want to know if it's relatable to you. And also maybe you know someone who's like that and you're like, I keep telling this guy it's the same thing, the same situation, and he's still stuck in that position. I keep telling him. Give me a 1 in the comments if you think that's also you or someone you know and you relate to that point. And also let me know if you can hear me, because when it comes to technology, you can also have all kinds of issues where you can't hear me, or you don't know what's going on, or I'm speaking and nothing is coming out, no one can hear what I'm saying. So let me know as well if you can hear me clearly in the comment section. And beautiful, and show me you're there as well. Also, that moves us to point number 2. Point number 2, you've taken a wrong turn. Point number 2, you've taken a wrong turn. And it reminds me again of another client I had. He was a great guy, really great guy. He had a lot going on for him as well. He was moving into a new season of his life. But the one thing he needed to focus on was really getting a career that he wanted, really getting a job that he wanted. And the one thing that kept coming up when he was not putting himself out there enough to get the role, he was saying, well, I'm helping my friend. My friend is really in a sticky situation at the moment, and my time is going towards him and helping him. And I'm not saying don't help your friends, I'm not saying don't support people, but when you're making decisions to put others first, where you're actually hindering yourself, and you're actually hindering yourself from being in a better position that you could help them even more, then it's an excuse. You're using something to prevent yourself from really putting yourself out there. And even when I brought it up to him, he even said it himself. He's like, you're right, I'm actually making an excuse, or I'm putting him in front of me to prevent myself from putting myself out there and moving forward and making a decision. And again, this is what leaders do. Leaders don't put people down, they don't leave people behind, but they make sure that they're in a strong position so they can help others. It's like that analogy when it comes to the plane. Whenever there's oxygen required, the mask come down. They always tell you, put your own mask on first. Don't put someone else's mask on while your mask is not on. Make sure that your mask is on first before even your child, before you help them, because you're no use to anybody if you're running out of oxygen and the other person, you're trying to get their mask on. It's a waste of time. So make sure that you're in the right place and you're making the right decisions for yourself as a leader before you start helping others and moving or making your time for others, putting your time into others before you do that. Because again, you're going to be like a captain who's commanding a ship, but you're never in the controls. You're never there making decisions. You're just running around the ship trying to help put all these small fires out. But the captain needs to be a leader, needs to be have a direction, so you're moving in the right direction. You're not going in a wrong turn. Beautiful. If that makes sense to you, give me a yes in the comment section. Give me a yes if that also relates to you and also makes sense to you. And we're going on to our final point, which is number 3, stunted growth. Number 3, stunted growth. So what causes paralysis, or what causes men to be pleasers over leaders? Is one of them what's the cause from being a pleaser over a leader is stunted growth. So it always makes me think of when I was young and you have a group of friends. You always have a collection of friends. Usually when one of them gets a girlfriend, he disappears for quite a while. It's like he doesn't go to the gym anymore. He doesn't hang out with the guys anymore. He doesn't do things he becomes kind of caught in this situation where he's just in la la land, or in the honeymoon phase or the love phase of a relationship. He just stops doing the things that he needs to do. And before, we kind of look forward to when they broke up, because then he would come back and join us. So that's a mindset that you need to be very careful of when you find someone that you care about, like maybe a new relationship. Doesn't, as a man, as a leader, you do not stop your normal life. You do not stop your normal schedule just for a relationship. You do not stop your normal structure, especially when it's about self-improvement. So, especially when you're trying to improve and better yourself. You don't be that person, because if you do that, all of a sudden your attraction level goes down, your leadership qualities go down. Even the person you're dating, who you're sacrificing that time for, they'll start to see, well, this guy's putting too much importance into this relationship. This guy's putting too much importance into into being with me, and he's actually neglecting his friends. He's neglecting his role. He's neglecting his purpose to spend time with me. And eventually, if you continue to do that, most girls will see that and be like, this guy, he's too weak, and he's too much of a soft guy, that he's putting me ahead of all these things in his life. And a woman doesn't want that. She wants a man who's a leader, who's someone who continues to take charge in his life, but still makes some time for her. It doesn't make her the priority or the number one. And yeah, it reminds me of a lot of my friends who would do that. It's the same habit over and over again. And even some guys, I've even done it myself. It's like, even though you've seen it from other people's perspective, you've seen it before, you end up falling in the trap yourself. But if you're in that person, maybe you've fallen in that trap before, or maybe you're in that trap now, make a decision to get back on your life. Make a decision to get back on your purpose, and not fall into that trap where you're stunting your growth because you're falling into a relationship, or falling into a place where you're in comfort over putting yourself in uncomfortable positions. Beautiful. If that makes sense to you guys, give me a 2 in the comments. If that makes sense, give me a 2, or even a fire emoji as well. If you got emojis going, drop a fire emoji. Beautiful. That's everything for this training. So we'll be back tomorrow. I'm thinking, let's see. Awesome. Before you go, Joe, make sure to comment below, or let me know in the comment section. Even in the replay, if you're catching us, maybe you're not with me live. If you're catching us in the replay, give me a comment and tell me what you've heard, or what you know about the pleaser mentality, or what you've experienced when it comes to the pleaser mentality. And we'll be back. I think we'll try 8 a.m. tomorrow, 8 a.m. GMT, when we're gonna talk about why most men can't get rid of the pleaser mentality. Like, what is actually stopping them from? They may be aware of it, but what's stopping them from getting rid of the pleaser mentality? You don't want to miss that one. Beautiful. Okay guys, we'll speak to you tomorrow.